start off with more school assemblies, except this time, it's not a government-run school. This school is run by the Mother Church of Place of Hope, and its name is Central Church of Christ of Guayaquil. And in one day, after only just 2 school assemblies, we were able to perform our dramas and skits in front of over 2,000 students. So after just 2 school assemblies for that day, we go back to the hotel and rest up for our next day of ministry. This day turned out much like the second day. Government school assemblies all day. But today we added a new drama to our arsenal. 2 masters. This was more popular with younger kids, but it was incredibly hilarious to watch, no matter what age you were. Probably one of the most popular non-fight choreographed drama was The Prodigal, a story where a boy leaves home trying to find fulfillment and happiness outside of his father's wishes. And it doesn't really work out for him too well, and he ends up running back home to his dad, who was more than willing to take him back in after everything that he had done. So that's where the day ends. We wrap up our last assembly and go back to the hotel for dinner and some R&R. So up until this point, the goal of the school assemblies was to empower students and also to invite them to church where we could talk about Jesus as much as we wanted. So when Saturday rolled around 100 children showed up along with the rest of their families to the church. Later in the day, we also visited the house that some of our guys had been working on for the past couple of days. This property belonged to 2 families, and one of them having a child with muscular dystrophy. So they had to build a ramp on the property for that child, along with giving them a cement floor to help stop diseases from spreading in the household. Later, we went back to the Central Church of Christ of Guayaquil's youth service and did pretty much the same thing we did during their school hours. Also, frankly, they have an amazing worship team for their youth department, if I'm just being honest. In all honesty, that Sunday was very chill. We only had to perform our dramas at Place of Hope that day. Then we went to the main church for their Sunday service. The only trouble with that was pretty much none of us knew what the pastor was even talking about because he was speaking in Spanish. But the service was not without its moments. After this, we went out to a market to buy souvenirs. Once we finished there, we went to a park that was just chock full of iguanas as far as the eye could see. Since we hadn't gotten much exercise up until that point, we climbed an over 440 stair staircase to get a spectacular look at the bay.